In today's video, I'm going to be doing an unboxing and setup for a Apeman camera system. It's a dash camera. They're at Walmart now. This is the C450 version, 1080p, 3-inch LCD screen. Mixed reviews online about this. The biggest problem is it doesn't come with a memory card, and it's hard to find out what size memory card to use. So I did a little bit of research. 32 gigabytes is the maximum memory card this thing will hold. If you try to put more in there, you're going to end up with either getting a card read error or it's just not going to record. So when you buy this, spend the 50 bucks on the camera. Make sure you get an SD card. Alright, so inside there's our dash cam. Looks like the directions are written in both Chinese and English, depending on which one you want to read. We've got our user manual, which normally I toss away, but in this case I might need it. Some of these little dash cams and small cameras are a little bit more complicated. Looks like we've got a window suction cup mount. Little micro key, probably a reset key. This looks like a key you would reset your router or something with. Paper clip, basically. And then we got our power cord. And the power cord is looks like a US or micro power cord. It's a little bit older style cord, and it also has a USB plug on the end so we can power another source off of it. So basically if you're taking up your cigarette lighter space, you can plug another USB device into it. So that's all our pieces on the inside of the box. Film over top of the lens to keep you from scratching the lens while you're installing and hooking things up. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off the back of here so I can see my display. Now, just to make my life a little bit easier, I went ahead and just got an extension cord, USB block, and I'm kind of a pack rat, hoarder to some extreme. I've got micro USB ports. I've got cables for about everything, so I'm just going to put this on the table and set it up. That way I'm not trying to sit in a vehicle, place the camera, and go through a setup menu. Now I know absolutely nothing about this camera, so we're going to go through this together. Most of the time we can figure out menus just by pushing buttons. Let's start off by putting some power to it. Okay. And we've got to insert SD card. So the camera looks like it's working fine. And again, we've got the film on the front of it, so it'll clear up once we get the film off of it. Looks like it's upside down. So the top where the cord is the top of the camera. And as you can see, it's super sensitive to LED lighting. All those little waves you see in the camera, that's from the LED lights I have above me. So first thing is if you're putting it somewhere besides a car, somewhere there's a lot of LED lighting, it's obviously subject to some lighting interference. I'm not sure what that's going to do to car lights at night. You may get the same effect on car headlights at nighttime. Again, don't know, never used this camera before. Now while I was opening up my SD card, the camera did shut off. I know it's got an impact sensor, or not an impact sensor, but a motion sensor and a vibration sensor built into it. Don't know how to set them up yet. But basically after it sat there with nothing moving for a few minutes, it turned itself off. So we're going to pop in the SD card. And these are always fun. You got to have a fingernail to pop them down in there. And it should click in place, which it did. And let's power it back up. Orange button. Okay, status lights. When the blue light's flashing, the camera's recording. Red light's on, it's charging. Okay, we're going to go to the mode button, which is on the side. M for mode. Okay, the top is video recording. The loop time is 3. That's the exposure. That's the G-force sensor. And that's audio on. Okay, since it's recording right now, if you press the OK button, it turns off the recording. So basically you can turn it on or off by hitting the OK button. And it looks like up here we're going to record an hour and 36 minutes. Again, I'm not so happy with that, but for 50 bucks, it's going to auto loop on itself. It's not going to matter. We can probably change the resolution, knock the resolution down. This is more for, I think, accidents. If something happens, you can pull the card versus, you know, driving around with a GoPro or something trying to just catch. Now, if you press the mode button again, it's going to take you into camera mode, so you can actually take pictures. Push it again, it's going to take you into video playback mode. That takes you back to the standard preview mode. Now, if we go into camera mode, which is that one, if you press OK, it takes a still image. So if you're in an accident or something like that and you want to take still photos, when you pull it out, you can switch to camera mode and actually take some stills. That's the playback or preview. If I go up or down, it goes through the videos that were recorded. And then mode again should take me back to live view again. Let's get into the menu and see what happens. So we're in live mode or live preview. I'm going to hit the mode button on the side, or the, I guess it's the menu button. Up and down takes me through the recording loops, the wide range, the exposure. Looks like motion detection, audio, date stamp, gravity sensor, parking guard, not sure what that one is yet, and headlight warning. So we're going to start in resolution. We're going to hit the OK button. And like I said, you can change this to 720p or VGA. If we change it to 720p, I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to go back out of here. And that changed our recording to 2 hours and 23 minutes. So resolution, 2 hours and 23 minutes versus 1 hour and 36 minutes. So it actually gives you an extra hour of recording. We'll hit OK. We'll go to VGA, which is like 420 maybe. Maybe not even 420, 420i. We'll go back out of here. Oops, I didn't hit OK. Resolution. VGA, OK. Menu. And that actually gives us 3 hours. So each one gives you about an extra hour. Me personally, I'm going to set mine to the 1080 Full HD. Next one down is the loop recording. Okay. That's going to determine how long it records. So it's either going to record for 1 minute intervals, 3 minute intervals, or 5 minute intervals. I'm going to do a 5 minute interval. And that way, when it loops, it's just going to record 5 minutes at a time instead of 1 minute. Wide range dynamic on, so we're going to keep it like that. Exposure, I'm not going to mess with the exposure until I actually see it in the vehicle. You can probably make it a little darker, a little brighter. I'm going to leave default and see what happens. Motion detection. If you turn this on, which I'm going to, basically what will happen is if you're not doing anything and somebody walks in front of the camera, it should turn on the camera and record them. This is good for parking lots, your house at nighttime. Somebody walks by the front of your car, it's going to turn on the camera and record them. Okay. Audio. You can turn the audio on or off. If you turn on the audio, it's going to take up more memory because it's going to record your voice too. Me personally, I don't want anyone hearing me singing going down the road. Not a pretty thing to hear. So I'm going to leave mine on off. Date stamp. I'm going to turn that on, and basically that'll do a time and date stamp. It'll actually put the time and the day on there. So if you're in an accident or something, it'll record it. Now the gravity sensor, when you go into this, according to the manual, this will record and actually lock the footage onto the SD card, so it won't overwrite it. So basically, if you set this too high, every time the car vibrates or the wind blows or somebody bumps it, it's going to record, but it also stores that memory and doesn't overwrite it. Me personally, I'm going to turn this off completely because I don't want to use up my memory card. It says once it gets full, you actually have to format the SD card to get that memory off of there. So I'm going to turn my gravity sensor completely. Okay, parking guard. It says turn this function. The device will automatically record when it detects vibration in the parking state. Parking guard needs special power boxes for specific dash cameras to connect the ACC and ground safety boxes. We're going to leave that off. I'm not going to mess with that. I don't even know what it is. Headlight warning. When the front of a dim light to a certain degree, it'll make a notice and flashing icon. So Again, I'm not sure what that does, but we're going to leave it on for now. And once I use it for a while, I'll figure that out. The description wasn't very plain. Again, it says when the front of dim light to a certain degree, the machine will make a notice and flashing icon. Push the menu button twice. That's going to take me into the time and date. So I'm going to hit OK. This is obviously the date they did the software was 2018, so this thing's been out for a little while, or the software has at least. So we're going to do 2020, and we're going to hit OK. It is April. Do the 9th. Okay. And we are 6:43 here. One, two, three, four, five, six. There. 43. 44 now. Okay. Okay. And then menu to get back. Charge. There's an auto power off feature, which I would recommend. Basically, I think it's going to turn itself off when it doesn't detect any recording after 1 minute or 3 minutes of complete motionless, which that's what I said earlier. When I grabbed the SD card, it was off by the time I got back. So we're going to leave that on 1 minute for now. Beeping sound, that's optional. That's obvious. It either beeps when you push the button or doesn't. Startup sound plays a little jingle when you start it up. Me personally, off. Don't want to hear it jingling. Language, if you need to switch your language. We're not going to mess with the frequency. We're going to leave the screensaver off. Car number, I would assume, is if you have more than one car, you can add multiple car numbers to it. That's your format for your SD card. That's your factory default settings. That's the version number. So we are set now. Our time and date's down at the bottom. Of course, it's picking up vibration or motion because I just moved the camera a little bit. And that looks like about all there is to it. One last note on the mount. There's a little arm back here that turns left and right. When you put this up against your glass, you turn it this way and it locks that in place to keep the suction on your glass. Once you want to remove it, you turn it back this way and it releases the suction so you can actually get it off the window. Okay, so that's the C450 Dash Cam. Again, Walmart, 50 bucks. Buy a memory card, 32 gigabytes at the most. Me personally, get a high-speed memory card. It's going to record better and faster, at least 100 megabytes per second. Once I get it installed in the vehicle, I'll probably do another video separately on how to install it in my van. That way I can show you how to route the wires. And then I'll do a follow-up video in probably a week or two of actually using the camera, how it records, what the video looks like when we pop it in a computer. But as far as setting it up and ease of use, it looks pretty simple to use. Plug it in, turn it on, set the time and date, and drive your car. Hope everyone liked the video. Thanks for watching. Please click like and subscribe.